In my work, I'm very interested to look at the concept of ugliness in the world, but as something authentic. So I'm very curious to research the vulnerability of states, which contains like a raw emotional state of being, but not just in regards of human beings. Like overall, I'm very interested to look at this combination or this collaboration actually with more than human agents and also with states that we have no definitions yet for. And I think this like concept comes specifically because I did not grow up in an artistic family background. I grew up in a working class background on the countryside, and we were just surrounded of nature. We were surrounded of forests. We had I saw always a very hands-on approach of making things. Like it was crafts makers, there was like the making of bread, the building of fences, the working with animals. And this kind of observations that I've seen there had a very strong impact on my idea of creativity, on what inspires me. Growing up in this working class, like artisanal but also social care sector, was connecting me a lot with this like technicalities, this kind of hands-on approach, but also, as I mentioned, like the social care background that is also quite dominant in my family, connected me very early on with like observations of medical science. My mother was a nurse, and she would bring back like different books and like medical instruments that I became fascinated with. Another thing that is very important within my work is this history of the migration background that is quite also relevant for my artistic making until now. So both my father and his grandparents had to flee from Soviet occupations, and they were displaced from their homes. They were bereaved in that sense from their identity. And growing up in Germany in a very rural area, I had to find ways to protect my identity and to formulate it. And I found that creative processes, specifically as a teenager, in a collaborative sense, were kind of making me protect my sense of self. I work very, very closely with communities in not just Berlin, but also in London and like other places of the world. And this collaborative act is like, I found, is a catalyst for my work. It's like making it possible for me to remember why we do art, like that it's not just something that I do for myself in the studio, but it's very much so that my studio usually expands into very, very different places. Like I feel that this process of working with communities also is something that is what is most inspiring for me, what keeps me going. It's something that gives me strength. I get inspired by artistic processes from other people, but specifically due to my background of not growing up with an artistic environment, I've always seen the art that is not in the white cubes, that was explicitly eliminated from the white cubes, that was specifically oppressed by institutions over centuries. And there I'm speaking, of course, of like the art that is done by female ancestry, whether that is like the ability to make bread, the ability to kind of care for society, to care for the community, I found that was like the first thing that inspired me as an artist. I find in that context the most bravest artists that have inspired me were those ones that were stepping out of the institutions, those ones that were kind of trying to find bridges between the society and between institutions, that were making it possible for people who were not directly growing up in an artistic context, from the working class or due to other backgrounds, that they were invited into the artistic context, that the art was brought into the streets. The sculpture series that I've continued here also with the crystals and with the stones is an ongoing project. So I am interested to develop it further. I mean, this is right now still a very fragile and small state, and I'd be curious to think about a way to do this form of kind of collaboration, so to say, in a larger scale, and to still maintain that fragility. Another project that is that I've been working on for the past couple of months is a work with a collective. The collective is called Shiga, and Shiga is a Slavic demon that I've been looking at with 3 of my colleagues, which also have a connection to Slavic culture. And a few months ago, we realized that there is something important for us to look back at a certain kind of culture that has been eliminated, or that it was attempted by the Christian institution to be eliminated, and to figure out what are the remnants of the Slavic culture and this paganism also that is part of it, to kind of investigate which parts of ourselves in the past have been kind of taken away from us. So this collective action is something that I've been looking at together with my colleagues in the past couple of months, and we aim to do like a series of events as part of this, to also research further into this subject, specifically from a queer feminist perspective, and also to understand the importance of rituals in our society. What is the importance of rituals in a pluralized society that is composed by very, very different identities? I think that's a very important continuous task and continuous reflection for me, how to not stagnate with a certain anger of the observations that also motivate me within this world, but how to create a community of radical care, of kinship, where communities come together, but also where we are capable of connecting with agencies that are not just part of our groups, not just part of our kind of closed categories, but also part of the broader context. And that's something that is, is a continuous importance and continuous work for me.